I'm Tree and this is Stitchless TV. Today I'm going to show you something brilliant. I'm going to show you how you can create your own stencil and print amazing things on t-shirts. A couple of years ago I bought this amazing jumper and it had this bikini kind of print on it, and I loved the juxtaposition of a jumper with a bikini print. So I had a little think about how I could recreate that, and the way to do it is like this. The amazing thing about waxed paper is that you can use it as a stencil, and it is brilliant because it sticks to the jumper or the t-shirt perfectly when you iron it. I think what's happening is that the wax is melting and just enough to stick onto the top. I'm going to tell you a huge secret. Do you know what it is? Guess what? You can print onto the waxed paper. You cut it to A4 size and then you put it in your printer and make sure you print on the wrong side. Nurse Esther, scalpel please. Now scalpels are really dangerous. All you little kiddies out there, no, do not use the scalpel. Get a grown up to cut it out. The amount of accidents I've had with a scalpel. So the first thing that we do is cut out our stencil. With the bikini stencil, I've created a left and right side because it does actually make a difference to the shape of it, and it's more flattering if it's smaller in the middle. I've printed centre front so you know where the front it is. Now the first thing that we do is we very carefully cut out all of the black on our stencil. Be really careful when you're cutting them out not to tear the paper, and always make sure that your blade is sharp. So if it's a little bit blunt, don't risk it, because that's how you get tears in the paper. You always want your scalpel to be sharp. And if you haven't got a cutting board to cut on, maybe try a breadboard, but glass would be very good, because you need to be able to get a clean cut. So it takes quite a while to do. So I'll show you when I've done a little bit more. I've cut out the bow, but there's a really important part of the bow that you could easily forget. So have a look at this. You see this middle bit of the bow? That's very, very important. So what you have to do is you cut that out. I'm ready to take the bow off now. So I take the bow off. So do you see what's happening? When I put that back in there and that back in there, making sure I've got the wax side down, all the exposed bits will be the bits where all the ink goes. Now you can do this however you want, but when I work on things, I normally like to do the difficult bit first and then the easy bit at the end. So for the lines, I do all the long horizontal bits first. I would then start doing these little side bits. Phew, glad that's done. I had a little accident. Come and have a little look. I was chatting and my hand slipped and I cut out there, but it's no problem because I just put a little piece of masking tape on. And now we have to cut out the other side. Very important that your t-shirt is not only clean, but ironed. When you put your stencil onto your ironed t-shirt, you may find that in order for the shoulder strap to fall in the right place, which is going to be just on the side of the neck, you will need to tilt the A4 piece of paper to a slight angle. But make sure that the centre is pretty much in the centre, and I usually use the label as a rough guide of what is the centre. Now, making sure it's all fitting onto the ironing board, you get the iron and you carefully start pressing the paper, the waxed paper, and what you find happens is the wax on the back starts to melt and it will stick temporarily to the fabric. Now I'm going to show you an example of what happens if you haven't stuck your stencil down properly. Oh, idiot. You're not supposed to have the steam on. I had my iron on steam, but it'll be all right. Don't use steam, no steam, just hot iron. You see, I'm human too. You see the top that I'm wearing today? Now this side, as you can see, is perfect. This side is a disaster. Shall I show you? That is what happens if you do not iron your stencil down properly. Look, I can't believe it, my lovely top. When you're really, 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 really sure that you have pressed all of that stencil down, because you don't want to leak, then you have to mask off every single bit of exposed fabric, because believe me, that spray paint, it's so fine, it will find a way of getting through. Oh, I forgot these bits. I was going on and on about it. You mustn't forget the bits that go inside the bow. Wax side down, in the middle of the bow, and press. Do not forget. When you are doing the masking stage, which you have to do very thoroughly, I found it very helpful to put it on like a tray, or I put it on my cutting board, nearly ready to spray paint. But you know what? I'm not allowed to spray paint inside. I'll get told off. So I've got to go outside. So we'll see you outside. You have to shake your spray paint, I think for about 3 minutes. As you're mixing all the stuff together. A bit like dyeing your hair, isn't it? Right, we're ready to spray now, and it's as simple as this. You want a fine coat all over your stencil. Ready? Yep. Make sure you've covered all of it. So that's it, that's pretty easy, isn't it? You want a fine layer of paint so it goes off really quickly and it looks like it's part of the actual fabric. Now you need to leave it to go off until all this wet stuff around the edge has gone off. I think it's about 10 or 15 minutes. Big tip, take off your nozzle, you'll need a screwdriver to do that, and just soak it in some water because you don't want it to get clogged up with dry paint. Now don't just go, I know we're really impatient to see what it looks like, but don't just go and rip it all off. Take it off in stages because you don't want to accidentally, even though the paint should be dry, you don't want to accidentally mark your t-shirt. Don't forget those little bits. Oh, look at that. Look how crisp that is. That's such a crisp line. I'm dying to try it on, but I can't try it on yet because before I try it on, I need to fix it, and we fix it with an iron. It's a good idea to put some paper on top, then we press it. Now I'm just putting the paper on top just in case some of that paint transfers onto my iron. Shall we have a look and see if there's any there? So make sure you do it all over. Now this is a very hot iron, and now I'm going to do it directly on the actual print. Now come on, you must admit that is amazing. Okay, Esther just told me to be a bit sexy. I can't do sexy, I'm not doing sexy. But if you like the idea, oh shut up. If you like the idea of having a fun, not sexy, string bikini on your t-shirt, remember, you can buy them. Now I'd love to see what ideas you come up with for creating your own stencils for your t-shirts and tops. But why print it on a t-shirt? Print it on a skirt, print it on a bag. I want to see your prints. So send them to me, share them with me on my Facebook page, Stitchless Tree, or email me, tree@stitchless.co.uk. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on all my latest videos. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye!